Hey man, we got a special treat tonight. Tonight is going to be really amazing because we've got motorcycle club history here in the Black Dragon's Lair, all the way from Portland, Oregon. And you're going to learn some stuff tonight. I'm so excited. We're going to go through some AMA stuff. You're going to learn a little bit about race clubs, the original way motorcycles clubs used to get down. You're going to learn
Racing
about
clubs.
motorcycle racing clubs used to get down. You're going to learn about what clubs were made of, what composed clubs, all kinds of things. We're going to be talking about the Flying 15 Motorcycle Club tonight, and oh man, without any further ado, let me introduce Jason Vaden. And you're a member of the Flying 15
That is correct.
Motorcycle Club?
Out of Portland, Oregon, proud member since 2016.
Wow. So you're wearing a sweater.
It's scratchy in the summer, too cold in the winter, stinks when it gets wet.
So this is what motorcycle clubs wore originally. They originally wore a sweater. Not this get up here, but they wore a sweater.
That is correct.
Can you stand up and show the folks the back of the sweater and what it looks like? Wow. All right, folks, this is history here. When was your club started?
1934.
1934. Holy moly, man. And you guys are out of Portland, Oregon?
Portland, Oregon only.
Now, here's the crazy part. Your motorcycle club house used to be in the basement of the post office.
Yeah, like on Broadway Street in downtown Portland.
So, can you imagine that? A motorcycle clubhouse in the basement street of the post office?
I don't know if it was like the post, but it was the post office corner. It was down.
The picture I saw was like
Yeah.
the post office. That was really cool. So okay, let's do this. Give us a history of your club. You know, you talk so eloquently about it, probably more than I could ask questions about. So just start talking about the club.
Well, it's kind of the short version is like the old days that clubs were bike specific, so it had to be a Harley club or an Indian club. So there was clubs in Oregon and Portland they were Harley only places. They would have these races. Some guys went to a race. They found out they got asked to leave. They got a little drunk and disorderly because they weren't a member of one of the AMA sanctioned racing clubs.
Okay, so there were brand specific clubs all the way back then.
So the AMA did it. Basically, you had to have 15 or more members to be considered a club, and so most of the clubs, like the Portland Motorcycle Club, I think was Indian or Harley, one or the other. The Rose City Motorcycle Club, vice versa, And the legend goes that the Flying 15 was formed from 6 or 7 guys that went to a race and got asked to leave because they were, one, not a member of the club. They all rode different kinds of bikes, and they got a little drunk and disorderly. And
So they weren't part of any motorcycle racing club, and they had different kinds of bikes. Like instead of a Harley or an Indian, what did they have?
Triumphs and Velocets and just whatever. It was basically they were before the term was used, they were run what you brung mentality and attitude. And like, why can't we go racing? Why do we, I don't want to wear a shirt that says Harley because I don't ride one, but I want to race that guy on the Harley.
Man, I like those guys.
Yeah.
So they showed up one day at some place to race, and they were told you can't race. You don't belong to anybody's club. And
the legend goes that, yeah, there was some fellas that got a little drunk and disorderly and were asked to leave, and then they later went to a bar and had a discussion and said, this is bullshit. We should have our own club so that we can form our own and bring our own kind of people in there with people with different bikes. And it's about racing, not about what you ride. So kind of they said, well, but there's only like 6 or 7 or 8 of us. What are we going to do with the rest? They're injured or in the hospital. Who knows? But to have 15 members, you were considered an AMA sanctioned club. And so they said, well, we'll call it the Flying 15.
So 6 or 7 guys started the Flying 15, and if anybody asks where our 15 are, they're all in the hospital. and so this symbol here is actually the AMA symbol, is it not?
Originally, it was the original sweaters from the early days had AMA in it, and this is there's a thing in the club with puffy triangles and pointy triangles, but this is the original triangle. It's the AMA kind of fat triangle, and the old sweaters in the 30s, and they kind of let it stop in the late 40s. It used to say AMA in it.
And so later, as more of probably wanting to get more further away from the AMA, they took that out.
They took that out, and then they became just, that was no longer associated with the AMA. I think.
Were you guys ever called Motorcycle Race Club?
Nope. It started as the Flying 15 Motorcycle Club.
So, tell me about this sweater. Where do they come from? How do you get them?
They're made in Dean Sweaters in downtown Portland, Oregon. Company's been making this style of sweater since 1920, and they made them for the Flying 15 in 1934, and they've made them ever since.
So you don't put your colors on a leather vest at all.
This is my colors. I mean,
Okay.
you could put it over your jacket, but it looked kind of silly.
So you got not bobby pins, but safety pins holding this thing together.
It's just, it's wool, and it got a few, put a jacket on an awful lot.
So the jacket you wear is also a jacket that they've always worn forever.
A lot of the guys, Langlet's Leather, Ross Langlet's was a member of the Flying 15 Motorcycle Club back in the 40s, and he suffered a motorcycle accident in the 30s and lost a leg, and later formed Langlet's Leather because he was trying to make garments to save and to protect people. Created a world famous leather jacket company, and then he happened to be a member of the Flying 15.
So this story club now it had men and women, had a women's auxiliary at some point, or
There's a women's auxiliary back in the old days. I don't know that they did the the stuff on the bikes, the trapeze thing, but we had female members even back in the beginning.
So did you actually ever get a chance? Did the club get a chance to race in the AMA? Were they ever accepted?
That I don't know. We have a historian. He knows way better than I do on that stuff. I don't know if that was how that went. That was I don't.
So you got some like really amazing pictures from the old days. So what does it mean to you that you can look back and go all the way to the 30s in your pictures and everything? And what kind of connection does that give you? What do you feel?
Quite a sense of pride, especially from being a native of Portland, Oregon. I was born in Portland, went to school there. To be part of something that's been a part of that city for 88 years is a
Almost 100 years.
great source of pride. Yeah,
Wow.
it's I guess if you're from Cleveland, you probably like a certain beer because it's been around for 100 years. I'm very proud to be a Flying 15.
So many years ago, when the Booze Fighters had the Wild Ones, the Wild Bunch or Wild One, I can't remember the name of I think it was the Wild Ones. They published their bylaws, and in their bylaws, they talked about wearing their sweater. And I had never seen one until today. That's really amazing. So that's what you wear in the summer, in the winter. This is your color. This is your cut.
This is.
So it's scratchy in the summer and doesn't keep you warm in the winter.
Yeah, and it's this is from leaning on concrete bars. That's usually when you're belly up to a bar. This is that's what we blame it on, but I don't know.
So let me ask you this: in your professional life, you're a motorcycle racer, yes?
No, not professional. I do that on the side. I'm a general contractor by trade, but I race. The reason I'm here in Atlanta now is because do sidecar racing.
So you're the guy who sits out on the edge of that sidecar and hangs out there and all that.
Usually referred to as a monkey, but some people like to be more correct and politically correct and say it's a co-driver or co-pilot. But I got no problem. I crawl around like a monkey. So.
And do you have to work out to do that, or is it
Yeah.
a second?
Well, I try to only drink, a few beers the week before the race. But other than that, I don't. I do yoga. I do stretch and kind of stay limber.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I mean it. Yeah.
How fast do those things get? going?
I ride a vintage one, does about $1.25. This weekend, I was given the extreme privilege to ride a practice session at Barber Motorsports Park on an F1, and that's powered by a 204 horsepower cross-plane R1 with 10-inch slicks. So, I mean, I don't know, 140 maybe down the straightaway or something.
It doesn't get any better.
And just hanging on, you know.
Wow. So you got to put all your trust in. So you said both of you guys are responsible. Like he puts his trust in you, and you put your trust in him.
In sidecar racing, yeah, it's a equal amount of trust. There's no speech or no communication going on other than the movements of what you're doing on the bike. And when a sidecar doesn't really go the direction it wants to go, if the passenger in the ballast isn't performing the right duty, so it's basically the passenger has to go. I know what the driver's going to do, and the driver goes, I'm expecting my passenger to do this. And so at the same time, when you both think the same way and it's timed correctly, it's like a beautiful dance.
Do other motorcycle clubs know you guys? I mean, you said Sonny Barger made a statement one time.
It's a story I've heard around a few times. They said, oh yeah, you Flying 15, the most famous club that nobody knows of.
But that's no one's ever heard of.
Oh yeah.
So you guys have like one chapter. You've been there forever. Do you have any other chapters?
No.
Wow. So kind of like the East Bay Dragons.
Portland only. Yeah.
Yeah. So what brought you to that motorcycle club? What made you want to be a Flying 15?
The history, the fact that it has that history of being in Portland, and I thought that was just and I think the inception of the club, it had always the attitude of, it's about the motorcycle, it's about riding a motorcycle. It's I like being around people that, when you're in a club, you got lots of people, lots of brothers, lots of sisters, and everybody's from a different thing, and if you can share that strange same common thread of a motorcycle, that's where you belong. And that's all I think. I feed my family and pay my bills, and then I think about something to do with a motorcycle. And it's kind of nice to be around a place where people can not get judged for going, hey, I just bought another bike, or I just fixed another transmission. Or
I love throwing around the fact that my motorcycle club's 50 years old. I feel like real punked right now.
Yeah.
Like, wow, we were babies, and you guys were already 30 some years old. I tell you what, man, it's been an absolute pleasure having you to talk about the old race clubs and the old clubs and how things got going. And are you guys still not a brand specific club? Anyone can...
Absolutely not. And we ride everything. And the race history of the Flying 15 is even more amazing. The more that you hear and see of that, it's same attitude of the people that are there today. We have people like that sidecar race. We have people that do speedway, flat track, motocross. We hold mini dirt bike racing events while there's punk rock music going on around the clubhouse. I mean, we really do just ride anything. If it's got a motor in it and a set of handlebars, we'll try it. We'll race it. Somebody's been trying it or doing it better than.
That's amazing, man. So you guys are insatiably possessed with the love of riding the iron.
Aren't we all?
I think so. I think so. Well, listen, I just really appreciate you. Thank you for stopping in.
Thank you.
Thank you for hanging out at the Dragon's Lair, man. This is a treat. We don't really get to interview 88-year-old motorcycle club folks ever. So, man, ride
Cheers.
easy. Enjoy your trip back. Did you get to race at all at Barber, or just?
I got to ride on a F1 sidecar for a practice session, but my sidecar is back in Portland, and my partner got an opportunity to do some stuff in South Africa, and so it was a great opportunity for him. So I kind of was like, well, I'm still going anyways.
Well, listen, good luck in your racing career. Have fun. Be safe out on there on those twos, man, and thanks for dropping in, man.
Twos and three wheels.
Twos and threes. Yeah. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book. Are you gonna pant through the whole fucking thing?
I'm not breathing that heavy.
If I put him upstairs, he's gonna cry all night. Jesus Christ, dog. Boy, you are really getting on my nerves tonight. All right.
All right.
Jesus, what am I gonna do with you? All right, you gotta go get in the car. Come on.